Hey, I'm Mika. It's been a while, 5 years to be exact. Since leaving YouTube, life unfolded in ways I never could have prepared for. I left Bali in 2022, a place I had called home for 4.5 years. I was beginning a long battle with chronic health issues. I stepped back from my clothing business to focus on healing, juggling making videos for Patreon and doing freelance graphic design. I rented a place in Brighton for a year. I met someone, and I fell in love. It was a chaotic, passionate, and all-consuming kind of love, and my world shattered completely when he took his own life in July 2023. The years that followed have been the deepest pain and loss I've ever known. I spent most days just finding the courage to keep going. I left Brighton and entered a nomadic chapter, maybe hoping that somewhere along the way I would find my joy. And some days I remembered just how sweet life could be. I ended up in London for a year, a strange season. I isolated in my pain, and in an attempt to regulate, I fell into addiction and a deep depression that required professional support to navigate my way out of. But antidepressants gave me the first breath of clarity I'd had in years, and I was able to finally get back on my feet and hear my intuition again, a voice that was whispering to me the callings of a new adventure. And so I moved to Japan. Tokyo is now the backdrop of this quiet healing chapter, where awe and solitude hold hands. These days, I'm moving slow, learning how to keep my nervous system regulated, prioritize my peace, and I'm trying to stop hiding and playing small. I've spent the last 4 years sharing my inner world quietly on Patreon, but now I want to step back into my full power. I want to tell stories again, to reimagine pain into beauty, to document my mundane yet miraculous life. So this is me, returning not polished or perfect, but honest, a little weathered, and full of stories I'm finally ready to share. Hey, this is kind of crazy, and I feel like I need to reintroduce myself. If you're new here, I'm Mika. I used to have a YouTube channel. I started it when I was 15 and I stopped when I was 24. So leaving for 5 years, I wasn't sure if I was ever going to come back, but I have been creating on Patreon for the last 4 years, so I never really stopped making content, and actually there are so many videos on my Patreon, vlogs, deep dive videos, the documentation of my grief journey, and I'm kind of glad that for those years of my life I had a safe space to still earn income from creating, because it just is my passion. I feel like it's my life's work, just a drop in the ocean in the cosmos, and I don't think I'm here to do anything grandeur. However, I just think there's a beauty in documenting my individual human experience, the vulnerability of it, the creativity of it, the romanticization of it has always been something that resonated so much with me. I don't really have any expectations of coming back to YouTube other than I realized in my own life how small I had been making myself, you know, like I left YouTube very much a shell of myself, and I had so much work that I had to do on myself as a person. I needed to detach from social media as my main identity, and I wanted more anonymity, and it felt safe, but I also think that I was just avoiding the trigger of being seen and how vulnerable that is, how vulnerable it was to grow up online and receive the hate I did as well as the praise, and what that does to your psyche when you're developing. And as a young adult, I had a very dysmorphic view of myself, of my life, of my success. I look back now from the outside perspective, the most successful point of my career, the most engagement, the most followers, the most opportunities, and I will be honest that I just felt so much lack and unworthiness. And my confidence was so low, and so taking a step back was so important for me, even before entering this very dark season that I had to move through and learn to alchemize. And it's still an ongoing everyday process, but I just feel like now my confidence comes from who I am as a person, what I know my values are, and how I embody them within my life and my relationships. And that's not to say I'm not an imperfect, flawed individual. I am, I think we all are. But I'm learning ever more on this journey how to navigate with grace and trust in myself and life to always bring me to where I need to be. I also feel that over the last few years, my attitude to life is very much rooted in a new sense of fearlessness. I guess because there were so many times where I thought, oh my gosh, the most courageous act that I could really do right now is just stay here and endure. In getting to that place where I really didn't care what happened to me, it allowed me, I guess, to lean into the lens of optimistic nihilism. If I didn't care about what happened to me, then I might as well take the risk and go and live the most fearless, authentic life I possibly can. And part of that was moving to Japan. I think for so many years I had the fear of moving here alone and not knowing anyone. And then when I was that low, I was like, I am already like at the lowest point. Like the worst that could happen is I'm lonely, I come back. Like there wasn't really any risk because I can work remotely. So I just thought, I'm gonna do it. This has always been my dream, and I just feel like it's the perfect way to start a new chapter, to reclaim my joy and my inner child in my sense of awe and playfulness, and also to give myself permission to move slowly and at my own pace and start over as many times as I need to. That's the beauty of life. It's long and reinvention can be constant. And to me, maybe it's my personality, sometimes I think it's a character defect, but I crave that kind of change. I thrive in that uncertainty. If I have learned anything from the last few years, it's that life is uncertain. But we get to choose uncertainty on our own terms. We can barely control what happens to us or the people that we love. So you might as well go for it. Whatever it is, go for it. This is all so transient and you owe it to yourself. For all we know, we just get this one chance to be us. So here I am, doing my best to live purposefully, you know, and that changes from day to day. Some days I feel like I have no purpose and this is all meaningless, and other days I feel like this is all so meaningful and beautiful, and it kind of depends where I'm at in my cycle, to be honest. But I'm kind of in an era of not having any expectations for life and just trying to regulate my nervous system and move slowly in my own timeline, removing urgency from my life, which I feel like is a silent killer. And on that note, this is my room in Japan. Welcome to my room, welcome to my life, the new backdrop of my videos. I am living in a share house, which has been honestly such an amazing experience. If you've ever wanted to move to Japan alone, a share house is an amazing option because the place where I live, there's Japanese and there's foreigners, and it's just been a nice integration because I haven't had to think about socializing too much. Like, people are just always around and I've started to organically connect with people over time and haven't really had to force any friendships, and so that's been a real bonus. Mary さんは2時間テニスをしました。
OK、
Yeah.
そうです。
1時間半音楽を聴きます。I just finished my Japanese lesson. I have 3 lessons a week with my sensei Chio-san, and she's honestly the best. Like, our lessons are so fun. I'm really dedicated to learning Japanese. I have been studying a lot on my own before moving here, but when I moved here, I kind of just wanted a full immersion experience, and because I live at a share house where a lot of the people I speak to in my day-to-day life and the people I've become friends with are foreigners and they do speak English as most of the time their second language, I just didn't want to become complacent. I really like came here to learn Japanese, and I'm hoping that by the end of the year I will be able to have conversations without relying on any English. And some days it's so hard. I wonder if I'll ever attain a level of fluency, but I was ready for a big challenge, you know? I feel like it's never too late to learn a new skill, and being a beginner at something is very humbling. My favorite way to start the day is with my gut elixir. So this is the ultimate trifecta for me that has worked with restoring my gut lining and helping with inflammation. Kicking it off with my Complete Gut. I have this shipped from the UK because I love it so much, and I really feel like it's worked for me, and it tastes so good. I also have collagen powder. Collagen powder is a lot cheaper in Japan, which is really great. And then we have glutamine, which a lot of people know for working out, but this is actually one of the best supplements for restoring the gut lining. I have it with some sugar-free almond milk and a little splash of non-alcoholic amasaki, because this is essentially a fermented rice drink, and because the fermentation process is very sweet, this gives you less of a glucose spike than something like honey, because this is a slow release glucose source. I literally crave this every single day when I wake up. It's the best way to start the day. I had a delivery yesterday and I really want to show you what it is. This is so much bigger than I thought it would be. I don't know if you can hear the birds in the background, but outside of my window there's this like tiny orchard of little plum trees, and there's a lot of birds that live in these trees, and I wake up to it every morning, and I really wanted to have a little Snow White moment, so I got a bird feeder to attach to the rail. It's not a balcony, but there's a guard outside of my window because my windows are quite big, and I got some gourmet bird feed, and we're gonna see if they come over to my window to eat. This must be the actual bird feeder. I'm gonna like set this up and then I'll show you guys. I thought I'd do a mini flash haul of what I got yesterday shopping. I did want to show you yesterday, but I was so tired and sweaty when I got home. Starting off with this bag, just walked past this random clothing store that was having a sale, and this bag was 1,500 yen, which is about £7.50. I just thought it was so good. It's such a good size, especially for out and about like shopping. I only went to 2 places actually yesterday. I just wanted to go to the Daiso in Ikebukuro and also a Don Quixote because I just needed some essentials. We'll start with Don Quixote. I got this SPF to try because my Paula's Choice one is running out, and this is SPF 50. I also got some of these cooling wipes to try. These ones are -3 degrees, apparently peach scented. It's literally 34 degrees in Tokyo right now, so these are a must. And the last thing I got, it's kind of self-explanatory, but the packaging is so cute. It's a feminine care razor. I actually love that they have these in Japan. Then I got some things at Daiso. Now I really wanted some bowls and plates for my room. The share house has communal plates and bowls, but I like keeping things in my room so that I don't have to borrow stuff all the time. So everything in Daiso is 100 to 200 yen, which is really cheap. So I got this little bowl for like side soups, and it's got loads of bunnies on and it's so cute. And then I got this little sauce dish for soy sauce or sesame. Then I got these two. These are so gorgeous. These were both 200 yen each. This one is a bowl. It's like a black bowl with sakura flowers, and I definitely have quite a strong black and pink theme in my room, so I also got a matching plate as well. And then the last thing is just this black kind of flower petal plate. This one is plastic, so it's not as good quality, but I just feel like I needed a more like flat plate for when I have toast or when I need to mash up a banana. So I had some Hello Kitty chopsticks, but they have got lost in the share house ether, so I got 2 more sets of Sanrio chopsticks. These ones are slightly smaller, more of like a kid's size, but they have multiple Sanrio characters on and this pink plaid design. They're literally so cute. And then I got these slightly longer cinema roll ones, so cute. The last one is kind of random, but I really needed a compact for my bag that has a few small makeup brushes, because tall makeup brushes just aren't always handbag sized. And then look at the design. It's this like little teddy bear and it's 3D on a pink plaid background, and the writing says I never stop when I'm making memories with you, which is quite funny. One last thing that I did get, I got secondhand and it came yesterday. I got a Nintendo Switch. Honestly, I have been wanting a game console for so many years. Secondhand now, they're not too expensive. I think this cost me like 13,000 yen, which is maybe around like 80 pounds. Oh my goodness, you're sprouting! Wow! 'I honestly love the simplicity of my daily routine. It's that time of the week where I have to go and do a food shop. Like every time I go, I bring home something new to try, which is really fun. So let's go.
あなたは気分はどうでしたか？
落ち込みました。
ああ、本当ですか？ I also feel the same.
Oh really?
Hi. Is there a word for, there must be a word for workaholic in Japanese?
ワーカホリック。
workaholic. はい。
Actually, I only got a smoothie for breakfast. I kind of just went in my pajamas. This is the acai smoothie from 7-Eleven, and it's my favorite one. Today I have an endoscopy. This is the 3rd treatment that I've had, or procedure, to try and see what's going on inside of my gut, because my gut issues since moving to Japan have been a bit debilitating. For years now I've just been guessing. I didn't want to do a colonoscopy or an endoscopy where they put a camera inside of you, but the Japanese healthcare system is actually really efficient. As soon as I went in to tell them about my issues, I was booked in for a CT scan and a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. I've had 2 of them, and the endoscopy is the last one today, and I haven't discussed my results with them yet. There is a bit of a language barrier, but they're very patient with my kind of broken Japanese. You know, I'm just kind of excited to see if they can tell me something that I don't know, because it's difficult right now. I have to avoid so many foods. Also, I'm gonna be under anesthesia, so I've kind of just like not made any plans today, because last time I was feeling really strange for quite a while afterwards, and I ended up just passing out on my bed fully clothed when I got home.
Just coming out of my procedure, I felt like I went to like primordial place, complete life. really drippy. I'm so uncomfortable. I just had the procedure and I'm really high on whatever they gave me. It's not a bad feeling. I just feel like floaty, confusing. There's just so much going on and I just feel I couldn't really figure out what they were doing. I think I had more anesthesia this time than last and I'm still riding the wave. They have sat me in my own little room. But you know, considering all things, like, it went well.